You know, we all have freedoms that we enjoy. And for example, if you have the freedom to smoke a cigarette, I have the freedom to breathe fresh air. And if your freedoms infringe upon my freedoms, there's a clash of freedoms. And because of that, we have restrictions on freedoms. And there has to be a rule of law that determines what freedom trumps the other. And we have a constitution that gives us religious freedom. And our religious freedom trumps these new rights that have been invented. And it's a new right. It's not an old one. Historically, it's not something that we've ever even seen before. But it's something new. It's a new invention. And no one knows what it's going to bring. The best indication that I have what it will bring is what we've seen in the Bible. I can go to Sodom and Gomorrah. In history, we can go to Pompeii. We can go to other places. We can look at Nero in the time of Rome. And in these times, God brought destruction. And he also raised up people to speak his word and his truth and drew people into himself. This is our hope. You know, the question comes down to by what standard? Is it God's standard or is it man's standard? By what standard do we have church? By what standard do we worship God? You know, we don't have homosexuals in our church, not in a true church. We have those that used to be. Some of you were. The question is not that we don't have adulterers either, or fornicators, or those that are trapped in pornography. We have those that used to be. The call is a call to repentance and faith in Jesus Christ, is to exchange your immoral lifestyle for Christ's righteous lifestyle. This is what Christianity is. Any other definition is not Christian of the Bible. It is idolatry. It's worshiping of a God of your own liking, and it's an invention of man, something you're making up to please yourself so you can do what you want to do. Ultimately, it's a war against God. God's standard or man's standard? Let me go farther. God's standard or man's standard for family? Marriage, we could say that. For family, whose responsibility is it? As Reverend Littleton said, whose responsibility is it to teach our children? Let me say this real carefully. If we give our children to the sodomites to educate them, when it's all said and done, and they believe that sodomy is okay, why are we surprised? But there are parents out there that are being surprised. One generation after the next are not believing what the parents believed. We're falling farther and farther away from the truths of our Christian faith and the truths that were founded our nation and our country. But it's by what standard? Is it God's standard or man's standard?